If you've ever deployed to the beaches of Iwo Jima or the skies of Normandy as a paratrooper on the Trench Grenade channel or in Call of Duty, then go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, the average World War II weapons or mega-based video enjoyer with Papa Trench that your mom says that we have at home. Thanks for watching. Guys, the purpose of today's video is we're going to be going over roughly 5 historic World War II weapons that we are passionate about, that I've collected over the years, that we enjoy shooting, and that we want to show off to you. And honestly, this is just an excuse to get out a bunch of guns with my family. My brother is just out of camera right there. He's going to definitely not seizure warning them. Boom. So he's over there, and we got Papa Trench. So yeah, before we get too far into it, guys, all that we ask that you do, hit the like button. That helps out more than you understand. It really does keep the channel afloat by just simply smashing that like button. And comment down below your combat llama. Say hi to Papa Trench, of course. Say hi to my brother. He's over there. I think we called him 3 inches as a magnum. And tell us, what is your favorite World War II rifle? Or submachine gun, or handgun, right? Whatever your favorite, whether the PPSH, the Kar 98K, the Thompson submachine gun, the grease gun, the freaking Sherman tank, the Tiger tank. Let us know what you're passionate about, because honestly, we grew up watching, I guess, as a kid, I watched, probably too young of an age, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers. Like, nowadays, they're spoiled. They got the Pacific.
Combat, Vic Morrow.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't remember.
That's old one. That's like
Old school?
1960. Then Rat Patrol, but that, yeah.
Hamburger Hill is like a Vietnam, but
Vietnam, yeah.
Grew up watching all those. Saving Private Ryan, obviously. The new hotness is like the Pacific, or there's a, what is it? Not Letters from Iwo Jima. There's a different one I'm forgetting. Enemy at the Gates, right? The Soviet charge on the German position. The first like 10 minutes of that movie are amazing, and then after that it just like falls off the deep end in this weird love triangle.
Limited U.S. action in that one.
Yeah. But anyway, let us know down below what your favorite World War II guns is. And without further ado, we have a ton of M1 Garand stuff to talk about. So that's going to be the first gun. This is a M1 Garand from CMP. Here you go. You want to?
Springfield Armory.
Yep. First and foremost, all the weapons we're going to show here today are unloaded. But if you're unloaded and you want to put the chamber forward, or the op rod forward with the bolt, you just simply depress it a little bit with the thumb out of the way and release. Okay, so here you go. Dad, you want to talk to, or I can show him while you.
You just hold on
okay,
to it and show it.
I'll show him while you talk about it.
This is Springfield Armory, and it's when Springfield was Springfield Armory, and they made quality stuff.
This is a real Springfield.
That's a real Springfield Armory. This is ordered, as I believe he said, through CMP when I was in law enforcement. I got this. The grade I ordered, I believe, was the grade below this one. All I know is when this one arrived, it's a beautiful rifle and in great shape, great condition.
It's one of the best ones I've seen. This is one of the best ones I've seen. Sorry. Yeah, they're looking at the gun. They're not looking at us.
Yeah, okay, good, because I'm ugly. But it's a beautiful rifle system, and she's been kind of a safe queen. She's has a few hundred rounds shot through it and stuff, but still in pristine, excellent condition.
Yeah.
So
this is definitely one of the higher quality. Now we're all blind. This is definitely one of the higher quality M1s that I've seen, and I've had the opportunity to shoot growing up as a kid. Obviously my first gun growing up was a 22, but pretty early on in my life, this gun was just one of the ones that I was able to shoot. So you got to see where that, I guess, addiction started earlier on, is being able to shoot 30-06, ball ammo.
I believe your words were, whoa, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, as a kid, you got to think, as a kid, boom, okay, that thing, not to use the FUD term, but tack driver.
Did you say tack driver? I think
yes.
You even said something. This thing's a tack driver.
Dude, as a kid, I think I was like freaking, who knows, 12, 13 years old or younger. And, going from a 22 to 30-06 and just boom! And that bottle or whatever, that glass bottle that I shot, and just exploding. Probably not safe, right? Who cares? But be safe with guns. 4 rules of weapon safety. But anyway, yeah, as a kid, going from a 22 to a 30-06.
Hold that up again, please. Yeah, the 22 we first started off, it was about this long. It's like bolt action, single shot.
And then 30-06. Oh, he's ready. Get him the M1. But yeah, so I learned about the real Garand thumb, not the We won't even get in there.
Yeah.
But the
No,
real Garand thumb.
Anybody that shoots a Garand, you better discuss Garand thumb
Yeah.
because it happened and people actually smashed many of thumbs
Yeah.
because of it.
So without getting in trouble here, pretty much to show you guys this airsoft gun, okay? So if you're gonna load, you would just simply go back until the action would open, secure said ammunition, you would depress, and then once it's depressed, you just release and get your everything out of the way. You can feel once it's ready, once the bolt is up and over that first initial lip, okay, this is just the internals there, but once it's over, I guess, that initial lip right there, you can feel the bolt is like, I'm ready. Now sometimes the bolt will be like right around here and it won't want to go all the way forward. You'll just simply give it a tap. Right here in a second, we're going to show you some ammunition.
Yeah, whatever. Did you want?
Which one was it? So
Should be that one right there.
here, do you want to show them? Is this the one
Not
we're
that
opening?
No, it's this one. It's
Okay,
one
so
that's-
here, show them this and I'll open it while you talk to them. So talk to them about what
me.
ammo you should and what ammo you should not use. And I'm going to open
Well-
up this can on camera of genuine ammo for you guys while he talks about what ammo they should use and should not use.
All right, well, main difference
Like full-
I would say, I mean,
like
you
full
don't wanna be
power. The
you
full-
don't want to be corrosive ammo or anything unless you're going to clean it immediately. But I don't know exactly what route you want.
Okay,
to go.
so you don't want to go to Cabela's and buy 30-06 for your M1.
Okay,
You'll break
yes.
the op rod. You'll bend the op rod and it will destroy the gun. You have to use the ammunition provided from CMP or equivalent power, loading, grain power. These are, we'll find out in a second. Someone will comment down below. A bunch of guys will have M1s and they'll tell you in the comments. But yeah, do not go to the store and, as I'm peeling this thing, do not go to the store and just buy like,
You want to hold that up here so you can see what's going on?
it's going to be, I'll show them
We'll be
after.
like in a workout here.
Show them the bayonets for it while I open this.
Bayonets.
Yeah, here. Talk.
Short sword. That's a fighting knife, but this is a fighting knife. Wooden handles here. Not a bayonet. That one is not.
There we go. Based, dude.
This is the bayonet.
Okay.
There's the ammunition.
Got my bandolier,
I told
Sarge.
you, I said you're gonna have a workout opening that thing.
All right, Sarge, I'm ready to go on patrol. All right, so this is like,
Bandoliers.
yeah, oh yeah. Okay. So this is like genuine. I guess it's cool that we're doing this on camera, so I'll show them. So this is all like original USGI. Like this is literally, you talk about spam can. This is literally the most American thing you can do. Hit the like button and comment down below your spam can, your tuna can, something, because we are literally opening up USGI 30-06 M-block clips from the original manufacturer. Like that's based, dude. That is super awesome. So yeah, that's how you open it up. I stopped peeling. You can see there. I stopped peeling it. All you do is take off that top little lip that you see that was kind of peeled around like a spam can, and you just twist it open.
Sardines,
yep.
baby.
Reach in and grab your bandolier. And the cool thing about the bandoliers, when I joined the Army and back in the day, is they were made to hold the ammunition type. I know it's a crazy concept, but the modern ones, before we got rid of them, you could put a magazine back in it after you pulled out your stripper clip. But back in the day, it would already come loaded with your 30-06, dude. And it was already loaded in your M-block clips. So guess what? The USGIs, they would grab their ammo, and they learned in Korea this was actually a bad TTP, but a lot of the old World War II vets would just clip it straight to the sling. Yep, they would put two of them up there. That way, when the gun, I will load this and I'll show it. Okay, so when they load it, okay, boom, and release, boom, okay, there we go. The safety is right there next to the trigger. And let's say I was done. I didn't want to shoot anymore and the patrol's over, okay? Take that one out, you get ready, and you catch it by, boom, there you go. And that's it. No big deal there, right? That's how you do it, dude. And that was straight from the box, man, okay? And then obviously you just make sure you're clear. You're good to go, okay? So yeah.
You want to put this on there? Or
Sure.
you wanna talk? This is, I believe this, I'm not 100% sure. This is the 10-inch bayonet, which I believe was made from the World War I. Short swords, that was like additional 10 inches on there. They cut these down to make them for bayonets for the rifle system. So, they chopped down the original ones. because we
So
didn't need them because there wasn't trench warfare in World War II, so we didn't
is this
need them
the
as
original
long.
length or the secondary
This
length?
is secondary. Length.
Okay, so this is a chop down.
Top down version.
This rifle is clear. Okay, safety is on. So, yep, we won't put it on. I don't want to get fully deleted here from existence, but super simple. You'll know it's on by the way that it is. Okay, we are now the most based channel on YouTube. Congratulations! I'm sitting here with a 1911, some M1 stuff, and guess what? Mother freaking bayonet, dude. I mean, that's boom. Imagine you got an 18-year-old kid from Iowa. He's been, oh, don't do that. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get off of there.
That's fine.
Well, imagine you got a kid from Iowa, hasn't slept all night, just jumped into Normandy. He's probably 19 by the time he finished training, because airborne training was longer back in the day. Because to get into an airborne unit, you guys have seen Bandit Brothers, is a little bit more than just joining the Army. Anyway, yeah, it's freaking 5 in the morning, and you're a freaking you know what, a German, we'll just say a German soldier, and you got a freaking kid from a 19-year-old from Iowa, and he's coming over the hill with his M1, dude.
Hopefully he's one of the ones that was lucky enough to still have his rifle attached to him when he landed, and didn't just
The leg bags, the drop
gear
bag
that did not land with the guys when they landed.
Bro. Yeah. Okay, so where do you rank the M1? I got so much stuff, Chad. Where do you rank the M1 in terms of like weapons for World War II, for the GI
It was
side?
better than the original ones that came out the 1903s that were from World War One.
The Springfields, the Marines used them.
So yeah,
And
then
Iwo,
they ended up getting these.
well, not in Iwo Jima, the early days, Guadalcanal.
Yep.
And Guadalcanal, the Marines were, I'll just say it, killing Japs with they were killing Japs with some Springfield 1903s, dude, and that's what they were issued.
Probably what we had at Pearl Harbor.
Yep, five shot. Guess who had the Garands though? The Army. The Army infantry were the first ones to, I think. The Army was the first ones to get the M1s like at large scale. So the Marines, like if you watch like the Pacific and stuff like that, they are trying to steal the Army's M1s because the Army has the good stuff. Literally, I mean, you got eight rounds of 30-06 instead of 5, and it doesn't recoil as bad. That's the thing about the M1 compared to the 1903 Springfield. This is a heavier gun, better for fighting, semi-automatic, and you can operating rod. You can carry more bullets and shoot faster. You can fire. Famously, believe Patton said, as fast as the operator can, or the shooter can pull the trigger, right? Or the soldier can pull the trigger. So, I mean, that's freaking based, dude. Wow, that's metal.
You brought up the Marine Corps and then the Army guys that were in the Pacific.
Well, there were more soldiers in the Pacific than there were Marines. A lot of guys don't know that.
They were both, but boy, hats off to those gentlemen and ladies that served, because they basically had to struggle for everything.
Well, the ladies were nurses at that point. The ones that were
saying they were combatants.
Yeah,
there's ladies that saw stuff.
Yeah.
But our main focus was Europe. Was destroying the Nazis.
That was that was the most public. The United States' main focus was the Pacific. Normandy was a British-led operation. Did we provide the vast majority of the firepower? Yes, because Britain had been in the war for a while, right? But Normandy and all of the European theater of war was not the United States leading it. It was the British leading it. Now, the Pacific was primarily us with Australia, but Australia had a rough time. But all that to say is, yes, the Marines were killing motherfuckers in the Pacific, and so was the Army. But there's a lot of historical stuff about the Army didn't like to work with the Marines because the Army likes to move slower. Like the Marines, even now, the Marines are like a shock troop mentality. So they have bigger squads. They have 12-man squads. Even back then, they would have a 12 to 15-man rifle squad in a Marine squad. So what the Marines want to do is they want to strike fast and keep moving. They want to move until they run out of ammo. The Army was a different doctrine. The Army wanted to slowly advance but maintain. The Army didn't want to have to retrograde and lose ground. So what would happen is if you had the Marines in a center unit and you had the Army on both flanks, the Marines would strike hard fast and take a ton of terrain, but it would leave their flanks exposed. And that is where the real beef between the Marines and Army is. The Army viewed the Marines as reckless. They're just out there. They're out there like they're trying to kill Japs, but they're moving too fast and they can't maintain that speed, which is true. But then the Marines viewed it, to play devil's advocate for them, these Army guys are a bunch of pansies, right? Bunch of pussies, and they're holding back and they won't maintain our flanks. And so the Marines view, that's why historically speaking, the Marines hate the Army and the Army hates the Marines. That's why, because ever since World War I, the Lost Battalion, and then World War II in the Pacific, having the Marines wanting to use, basically like, for lack of a better term, lightning warfare or blitzkrieg, right? Perfect timing for lightning. But the Marines,
I heard lightning or thunder out there.
yeah, the Marines just want to freaking go, dude. And, that's their doctrine. They want to move light. They don't want to carry as much ammo. You got to fly on you.
Yeah,
you don't want to carry as much. They didn't want to carry as much gear or get weighed down. And they just want to move quick. The Army wanted to bring all the gear, all the stuff. And when we get there, we're going to stay there. Go ahead.
Sorry to get off track, get through a tangent in there. Let's keep on moving because
No, that's why they're here. They're here.
They may be here for an hour and a half at the rate we're going.
That's fine. Okay, so I guess let us know. Would you, at this point, want to fight with an M1 or something else? I guess there'll be the 16-minute checkpoint mark.
I want to fight with this.
There's a lot of guys that after they saw the bayonet and the spam can get opened, they're gonna be like, dude, I'm choosing the freaking M1. That was based. Okay, so moving on. Let's move on to a handgun then, since you referenced it. So what I got? You want to talk about what I got here? What I'm wearing?
You're wearing a 45 1911 Springfield Armory officer model.
Now, is this historically or just kind of like
that's
a modern?
Version from
Okay.
Springfield. It has more. They actually came with a different kind of grip.
Mm-hmm.
This one's more of a World War II grip because theirs was a little bit tweaked and not quite original.
Okay, so let me show them. I'll unload it for them. Okay, chamber is clear. All right, so talk to them about it. I guess, yeah, it's just a USGI. What is it? The commander?
Yeah, I think it said officer. What I believe is whatever the shorter version is, commander version. I seen it was the officer. Might even say on the slide if we were, looked at that. But
Champion. Whatever that means. Springfield Armory. I mean, it's just there's a ton of these out there, right? Like T-Sauce is like the famous ones right now, making basically, reproduction style 1911s, right? Just, USGI 1911.
I believe this one, compared to like a Kimber, or I believe one of your person on your channel has mentioned the Colt Series 70s, which are awesome for using in competition and stuff for accuracy and everything.
Well, for the triggers.
For the trigger, because you could adjust the trigger. The 80 series has a safety block in there.
Mm-hmm.
So drop safety, which is probably good if you need that.
Series 70s are better, though, in my opinion.
But this one, I just don't know if I haven't fired enough rounds to get broke in. But
this thing sucks.
It seems like
the sights. Well, I'll show them the sights.
I can't hit the broadside of the barn with that thing. So
the sights are a suggestion on these guns. I can't speak. They're literally just gutter sights, man. This one even has a little bit of upgraded rear. But the front sight, like what you're seeing here, that blade is basically all you got. So we're saying the gun sucks. The gun doesn't actually suck. If you were to go out and shoot a freaking, I'm not even gonna say the word.
Don't say
a Glock 17.
Yeah.
If you were to go out and shoot a Glock 17 and then shoot this gun with these sights, you're going to be more accurate with a Glock 17. Okay, sacrilegious, I know. I guess I'll put it back in here for the vibes.
Well,
but we just had to have a 1911.
But I would, if you had I want to say quality. That should be a quality, but for some reason
they're all USGI.
But if you had one that was worked on and you're firing single action through 1911, what's that word you said? It's going to be a tack driver.
We can't go full FUD here today. But, yeah, it wouldn't be a World War II video without having a 1911. So it is the token 1911 on the video. And to be honest, guys, if I was in World War II, I would not want any sort of commander size. This is a commander size, 4-inch. I would not want a 4-inch. I would want a 5-inch. What are you doing?
Fingerneck safety check. We're ready to go for the next one.
That was the weirdest thing you've ever done.
I was doing that so they could see that it was cleared.
Fuck them.
Carry on,
All right.
carry on,
So
carry on.
anyway, I would want a 5-inch 1911 because 4-inch guns, all 4-inch 1911s are more finicky than 5-inch. The gun was designed to be a 5-inch gun. I know guys are gonna freak out, but that is literally the design, right? That's the design is based on a 5-inch gun, but it would not be a World War II video if we didn't have it. Next, let us know. Would you want a 1911 or would you just want more ammunition for your rifle in World War II? All right, what do we got next?
This is a Saginaw SG. There's 2 Saginaws out there that made weapons for the military in World War II. You had the Saginaw Gear Company, but they had 2 different divisions, the Saginaw Division and the SG Division. This one is the
Hold it up so
SG
they can see.
Division. I don't know if you can.
There you go.
It should say SG on this.
I mean, that's fine.
One of the
They
parts is-
believe you.
hopefully they believe me. But this M1 carbine and 30 carbine round, which this smaller round, lightweight weapon system.
I can show
this
them.
one. I'm trying to think.
I'll show them
what's
while you talk. Keep talking to them. You're good.
This one's it's lightweight compared to what the M1 Garand was, like half the weight, and it was given to like mortarmen, medics, radio operators, officers, or anybody else that happened to be assigned the carbine. So it has more ammunition. Came with the 15 round clips, and a lot of guys adapted it as you see here. Put a mag pouch on the back that this would actually go on your web belt and just attach to your web belt, and you'd have soldiers that would just have those lined up as many as they could possibly get on their belt systems.
Yeah. So the gun, like you said, they were designed to be for rear echelon RIMs, right? Rear echelon motherfuckers, right? But when the airborne, and the airborne, but when the infantry guys or the Marines or whoever, that the regular frontline 0311s and 11 Bravos, when they came across dudes that had this, okay, let's try that thing out. And then it got to the point where you came across a dude that had M1 carbine. Give me that. You're taking my M1. Give me your web belt. I'm taking your carbine now. So for the 30 carbine, a couple things we have to note, and there's another one, a paratrooper model, if you want to show them the stock. There's something that we have to talk about is with these guns that has been misrepresented in GunTube. These are not equivalent to 357 Magnum. The 30 carbine is much, much more powerful than a 357 Magnum. Close to that of a 44 Magnum. And then out of the rifle length barrel, you're getting a lot more muzzle energy and a lot more velocity out of that round. Rest in peace, Paul Harrell did an excellent video and an excellent series on this gun, particularly the M1A1, right? Yeah, M1A1 30 carbine rifle. And a lot of guys just called him the M1 30 carbine. Or the A1 30 carbines. But the point to that is this is not a spicy 357. That's a bad way to put it. A better way to put it is it's a weak 44 mag would be, and then you got to factor in the barrel length. Go watch that Paul Harrell video. Again, rest in peace. We love him. The great Paul Harrell, and go watch that video. But these are the dudes in Korea. They were smoking dudes, but of course they were complaining about the stopping power due to, and this is my, and I'll let you kind of take over in a second, Dad. This is my theory. You would see your buddy who had his M1. Maybe you were a medic or a mortarman, or maybe you were just an infantry lieutenant or a sergeant that had a carbine. You would see one of your guys absolutely smoke a Chinese soldier, like drop them in 1 or 2 shots. And they drop like a sack of potatoes with their M1. And then you, in the same day, you get in another firefight and you're just bang, 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 smoking that freaking Chinese dude or that Korean or that German or Jap, and as they're running up, and guess what? You know what you're going to think, and you know what you're going to hear guys say? It won't penetrate their winter coats. It won't penetrate their shirt. That is the first FUD lore that we know about. That's like the oldest FUD lore we know about. That's like guys saying that revolvers are adequate for 2025 when they're not. So the point is, yes, this thing is very, very powerful. It is not as fast as your 5.56. It's like, it would be like a brush gun. If you had magazines, and we'll talk, you want to talk to him about the magazine issue? I can cover it.
Some are good, some are bad.
Yeah. So I guess to say this would be an excellent truck gun for 2025. Like legitimately, they weigh nothing. They get 15 rounds in the magazine. You can get 30s. But the issue with the magazine and the ammunition, one, it's very, very expensive and hard to find 30 carbine. Two, the magazines. Whoa, that's gonna be cool for the camera.
Nice. Hi, we're back.
Hey, so the cool thing about filming on the camera is it's gonna keep
fine.
going.
They don't know.
But what was I saying? The magazines. That's a serious issue. The magazine selection and availability in 2025 is a serious issue because the GIs, these were meant to be used once. That's it. So you get them from so very similar to like the spam can that we just showed you guys open up. You would open it up, you would get the mags already loaded in there. You take your mags, put them in the buttstock, put them in your pouches on your kit, right? 8 or so, have all your magazines. Once you used it on the battlefield, you would just dump it. You would never go back for those magazines because when you get resupplied every day or whenever you get resupplied, they're going to give you new magazines, right? So think about kind of like the USGI 30 rounders, the steel ones, but even more. These are expendable, disposable. You're never supposed to use it more than once. Go ahead.
You did bring up a good point. You were talking about when you brought up Korea. This is like a Blue Skies re-import. It was sent to South Korea during the war, and they put the bayonet lug on it. I didn't even mention that the other one's actually World War II era Saginaw SG.
This one's nice, dude.
Yeah, that one's nicer than what this one is.
This one's very nice. The wood on this one, the fixed stock. I prefer the fixed stock. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know about jumping out of an airplane with that one. I'd hate to something land on that, but and it's heavy. It's heavier than what that one is.
What?
This right
Here, trade me. Boom. All these guns are clear and safe, guys.
So,
okay.
yeah.
All these guns are clear and safe again. I know. My dad was trying to do the right thing earlier. I was like, oh, who fuck them? I mean, you're doing the right thing. I'm just so used to talking to them every day and like. Anyway,
I'm not.
Weapon safety doesn't end just because we're filming, but I do understand that my dad, he's the one that raised me on all this, obviously. So, yeah. Whatever I was saying.
I just don't. He's waving the gun around.
Oh yeah.
Is it even empty?
There's always going to be.
But
my audience is pretty base though.
I mean,
they understand that weapon safety.
Don't think, that's got a bayonet lug. It's not World War II, which there's debates on that too. But I know that came re-imported. It's not a World War II issue like this one.
This one is cool. It's different though. Like the GI buttstock, the paratrooper buttstock. Like it's weird because I'm picturing myself, dude. If I sling this, I got so much crap on me. But I picture myself. So like I'm in Normandy. I just exited the aircraft to hit the ground. There's Germans with MP40s, Kar 98Ks. Yeah, it's an 8mm Mauser round, 9mm full auto for the MP40, and MG42s. Okay, and I now have my like folding stock. It almost feels like a 22 kind of like, and now I got this folding stock M1 carbine. I don't know. I can see why the Army was like, hey, give it to the mortarmen, give it to the NCOs. A lot of the NCOs took Tommy guns because they wanted to be able to apply pressure.
It was effective enough that they were still using it in Vietnam with full auto version, the M2 version.
And there's a lot of debate about there's debate about anything, right? They obviously did use them up till I think Iraq. Some units not in the U.S. Army, but in like there were Iraqis standing at a gate, maybe not with a paratrooper model, but with an old, the Vietnam one's got the wood kind of looks like trash compared to if you want to show them that thing is nice, dude.
I'm not sure this is not a Saginaw stock.
Okay.
So that's disclaimer on that.
But yeah, here's like what you would
where
see.
it came from. But
This is what you would have seen. But all that to say is this gun has been serving with allies of the United States and with the United States for a long time. A lot of Chinese
persons.
A lot of Chinese got smoked by this thing. Like probably this exact model. You gotta back in World War II, you got a dude. But yeah, M1 carbine. Let us know what your thoughts are on them down below. Would you prefer the folding stock or would you prefer the fixed stock? Comment that down below as we move through this. I think I would just take the fixed. Having jumped out of aircraft my whole, for over a decade now, that thing's tiny, dude. It's not gonna get hurt. You know, even if you have a cracked stock, who cares? You know what I mean? But yeah, pretty based, right? Pretty based. All right. Any closing thoughts on the carbine?
Yeah, if you just need something I mean, they're fun to shoot. The carbines are.
They don't recoil.
They're all fun to shoot, but yeah, you can you know, smaller structured person can handle a carbine. There's no recoil. Very 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 limited.
I would say comparable, a little bit less than a 5.56, kind of.
Yeah,
It's like a thumpier. It's like a thump. I can almost hear the. Yeah, I can almost hear the.
You might be thankful that you don't hear ching 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 of that recoil spring in your AR-15 system or whatever. But
They're finicky if you. I guess like my last thought on them. They're finicky if you're using them now, because of the ammunition and magazine issue.
yeah, this one I actually haven't a problem. But I normally oil it, put some grease on it.
Grease is good, and I guess we can talk about that for
gun grease.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you want. I mean, that's what this came with. That one, well, it did, but it has an oiler that came in the stock because it needed to be.
Anything with an op-rod design, like the M1 carbine, the M1A, the M1 Garand, the M14, you want to use grease, not CLP, because CLP or oil, dude, after 20 rounds, that stuff's not working. It's not working the right way. That you have to grease these guns up, this type of weapon system up, and you have to grease it up.
Yeah, gotta be greased.
You got to be greased. All right. Speaking of grease, the grease gun was something.
Yeah, I mean, this
there you go.
Can still be effective. I mean, ammo selection is kind of limited on this, but I mean, even Hornady makes the critical defense round or critical.
Just be careful because you're the op rod. I think you can. You are no. You're right. I mean, you're right, Dad. I think Lucky Gunner did a whole series on it, and I think you can run more higher pressure. But guys, just be careful. Like, be careful if you're going to go and run a type of ammunition with a World War II style gun. If you get an overpressure style round and it blows your gun, or not really blows your gun up, it'll bend the op rod. Okay. When we say the op rod, this thing that's like massive and sliding around in there, that's your op rod. Okay. So if you have something that with a grainage or a pressure that is not designed for the gun to handle, kind of cool background they got.
We lost our lights.
Yeah. They're watching the lightning behind us.
Light show outside.
But yeah, Hornady. Go ahead. The Hornady.
Well, I mean, that's about there's probably others out there, but that's the only one that I'm really aware of. I mean, I shoot basically full metal jackets through mine or whatever. So
round nose.
Yeah, the round nose, and they normally work fine if the magazine is a good, decent magazine or whatever. But yeah, I don't have the option of getting brand new ones every time
I was going to say, if you're rich, if you're like made of money, join the Patreon, first of all.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, $5 a month.
My Patreon too.
Yeah. Gets you access to a closed Discord server where you can find buddies to train with, game with, stay up late and talk about.
Night.
Yeah.
Oh. I know some of you are like me and like, yeah, oh my word, it's 9 o'clock. You better be getting to bed.
But yeah, if you're gonna shoot, if you're gonna make the M1 carbine your whole personality, you need to go online and acquire certain items that are brand new, right? So
yeah, you're not going to take your M1 Garand and your M1 carbine and put 500 lights on it and put an EOTech on the top and a 1 point sling or whatever. It's going to be right on your front, right across here, ready to go.
If anyone's using a single point sling in 2025, they're outdated. But I'm telling you right now,
I'm outdated. But
after this video is over, and I'm editing it up and making everything and uploading it for these guys, if someone breaks in tonight, guess what? They're getting an M1 Garand 8. Well, I should be careful.
Yeah.
Alleged in Minecraft.
Yeah, let's cut that part out.
No, we're leaving it.
Let's cut that.
If you're coming in here tonight, anyway. Moving on. Okay, so we talked about the M1. We talked about the carbines. Talked about the 1911. This one, I'll let you clear and save this thing because I don't know how to operate this gun.
I thought we were almost finished.
We are. Ooh. If you got this far, seriously, guys, join the Patreon, like the video, say hi to Papa Trench. You know, it's awesome. Been awesome having him here on the channel and hanging out. Right. I know 3 inches is a Magnum is over there, not engaging with us right now.
This, what he's wanted me to say, is a Walther Olympia, 1932 edition. Used to have versions of this was actually used in the Olympics for sport shooting. It's a 22 caliber. Um, it used to have weights that you could mount on the front and a stock that actually could be mounted on the back for shooting in competitions and everything. This one is not that edition, but it was used by
The
a
Germans,
German officer in World War II.
who probably got.
So,
Hold on.
we won't discuss what happened to him. So,
I mean, we can discuss what happened. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyhow,
That man, he's no longer with us in Minecraft.
I'm sure he was just interrogated, and he gave us all kinds of information.
So he gave up his
top secret
sidearm.
He gave
Very
up
forcefully.
all of his weapon systems.
Normally
but-
you say, shut that fucking baby up.
So-
Boom, muzzle thump.
Yes.
Anyway,
They don't. This one doesn't
Here, I
get
can show.
shot too often anymore. So
boom, mega base,
there
German.
was somebody made a reproduction of it. I can't remember the company at one time, but yeah, I don't even know if you can still find those.
Okay. Well, we have talked for 36 minutes, but
Whew.
I think guys are gonna enjoy this video.
This was fun.
Yeah, this is fun. Where would you have wanted to serve if you had to serve on the U.S. side? Would you want to be in the Pacific, or in the Atlantic, in Normandy, in Europe? And would you want to be infantry, a medic, a tanker, and a Sherman? Where would you want to serve? And I want you guys to also comment as he died. I can tell you where I would have wanted to be.
Would you want to go in on airborne?
Dude, I think my breed of people, being a paratrooper personally and having served in 2 airborne units in the 173rd and in 425 at the time in Alaska, now 211, I think the vibes would have been pretty intense. I think you would have literally been like scared for your life. But I think your officers and your NCOs or your battle buddies to your left and right, if you're jumping into Europe, dude, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, if you're jumping in with those guys, when you hit the ground, you're gonna have your M1 and you're gonna stack some fucking bodies, dude. And it's literally them or you. The Germans or you. And
We had a family member that was
Yeah.
there right after
on
joining.
D-Day, yeah, he was a medic on D-Day.
Yes,
And-
and Bronze Star Award winner, but he wouldn't really discuss it, and he just remembers his brothers that were there that lost. Which, hats off, great respect to our older generations that served us in World War II, Korea, any.
Korea's the
war like that,
forgotten
so,
war, man. We could
yeah.
spend 2 hours talking about the stories. We were talking, I think, last night. The guys that served in Korea, the Korean and Chinese wave attacks and fighting to a man where you're literally having to use your M1 as a freaking battering ram to crush the enemy's skull because you're out of freaking ammunition and your bayonet's broke and all because it's so cold. Like, yes, we sit here, we talk about these guns and now they're kind of collector's items and fun talking points. But our ancestors stormed the beaches of Normandy, served in Vietnam, stacked bodies of the enemy in Vietnam, literally. In Korea, do we have anyone that served Korea? I don't think so.
I don't know anybody in Korea, but all the
World
other
War
ones,
II,
several World War II, several. I mean, we had a great uncle that was in Army Air Corps, beginning of the Air Force or everything back then.
Yeah. Dropping bombs, literally stacking bodies on Normandy on D-Day, in Vietnam, patrolling the jungles and stacking them high in Vietnam. So yeah, we got a lot of infantry and frontline history in our family. We're very proud, and yeah, like at the end of the day, these guns were used to fight and win the nation's wars and put bad guys in the dirt. That's why, like, all joking aside, I think I would choose the M1, man. Or where would you choose to serve though? I
don't know where.
I said I was gonna be
I'd go wherever my country needed me. I mean,
Pacific or Atlantic.
I prefer to go to Europe. So
You don't want to fight the Japs.
Well, I'll fight whoever I need to fight, but boy, it was very rough. I mean, I'm taking the easier way out, I think, by choosing Europe, and Europe sucked. D-Day was terrible.
Europe was maneuver warfare.
I mean, and if you look at, the Eastern Front or whatever, Russians. I mean,
that was
a lot of people.
So the Pacific and the Soviet versus German, those two fronts, the Eastern Front and the Pacific Front, you're talking like no prisoners, shoot them again, shoot them again, shoot them again, bayonet them to death, No gentleman understanding at all. The Soviets would kill a German army to a man. In the same, they mass wave attacks. The same with the bonsai charges and the Japanese soldiers, right? And I obviously saying Jap as a joke, right? I'm sure someone will get offended, but it's the terminology and the lingo that were used. They call us Yanks or whatever, right? We called them Japs, and that still respect.
GI.
Yeah, still respectful for their army, right? But they were a fanatical army. I think Dan Carlin said it the best. They're like everybody else, but more so. So they're like the Americans, but more. They're like the Soviets, but more so. More fanatical. They are one of the most fanatical armies, even above the Khans, the great Khans, Genghis Khan and the Mongols. The Mongols back in the day. Yeah, the Japanese army, the Imperial Army of Japan, they had the rape of Nanking, where they went in and sacked Nanking. They killed 250,000 people, babies, women, men, and the name Rape of Nanking says it all. The Japanese were not good guys. They were not a army of character. Unfortunately, they will be remembered in history as an army of fanatics because anyone willing to bayonet the groups and literally post newspaper articles of certain age groups on bayonets without saying it. Yeah, that's not good. So they had competitions of how many people. What? I'm telling them the history. They had competitions of how many beheadings their officers could do on Chinese prisoners in World War II. So
Don't talk. Yeah, the Chinese and Japanese.
They hate each other.
There's rivalry there, even today.
Yeah.
I mean,
they hate each other.
There's people are like that. Shocker.
Yeah.
Hey, any of you that are a veteran, seen action, seen stuff that nobody wants to see, thank you. My thoughts are with you, and appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Perfect way to end it, I think. Talking about the Japanese. I mean, respect, but yeah, perfect way to end it. Giving honor to the weapons and giving honor to the men and women that fought and won the wars to make America great. So, with all that being said, thanks for hanging out with us on your potentially weekend. On your weekend, going into the weekend, guys. A lot of you guys will probably be listening to this driving to work or watching it while you're on the way to the range or something. Get out there, dry fire, shoot some rounds with friends, get some buddies, and make sure you make micro communities in your area of guys that you can support each other and lean on during times when there's probably guys out here struggling. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with us. Hanging out with Papa Trench, myself, and enjoying some awesome World War II guns. So, without further ado, it's gonna be Trench Grenade and Papa Trench and 3 inches is a Magnum hanging out over there.
Happy Independence Day when it gets here.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah, happy 4th of July.
I know it's a little early, but...
Well, I hate calling it 4th of July. Independence Day.
That's what I call
it. Yeah,
it.
I call it 4th of July. We don't call it 4th of July around here. We call it...
Independence Day.
Independence Day. So if anytime anyone calls it 4th of July, you should go, what about 5th of July or 3rd of July? No, it's motherfucking Independence Day.
Every day's a reason to celebrate.
Correct. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. And until next time, it's going to be Papa Trench and Trench Grenade, your average random lightning storm. Awesome, fun video to hang out, enjoyers that your mom said that we have at home signing out. Cheers.